Guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do I look like a scarecrow today? I mean, is this my Halloween costume? I just need like a straw hat and be like in a little straw piece. I could like scare the shit out of crows. Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Shania, and today I thought I would do a book haul. I recently got a lot of books over the past couple months because I spend way too much money, and for some reason when it comes to books I'm like, oh yeah, I got the funds for that, I can do it, it's fine, we'll be fine later on. No, I do not. I do not have the funds for that, but I just keep buying them and I can't stop. So I'm just going to show you guys what I have gotten recently and what I plan on putting on my TBR because I bought it, even though my TBR list is getting extremely long and totally unreasonable. But we're here and we're going to do it. So I don't really have anything else to say besides maybe I need to, I don't know, manage my money better. Actually, better yet, my sister got me this damn book because this is how bad I am with money, and she thinks that I need to read this. And she got it for me like 2 years ago. Actually, side note, I can't even start yet because I closed the door to my room so that I had some privacy while filming, and for some reason, every single one of my damn cats thinks they have to be in the room with me, so they're pounding at the damn door. And now I got one right here that just won't leave me the hell alone. So everybody say hi to Mo because for some reason he thinks he needs to be right in front of me the whole time. So, Alright, so the very first book in this book haul is one that I never really thought I'd pick up just because I've never read this type of book before and I've never gotten into this genre, I guess if you want to call it a genre. I've never really got into it, but I'm really glad I did, and that is Pumpkinheads by Rowell. Now, I recently read Fangirl by Rowell, which I know it's been out for a long time. I don't know why I haven't read it before. It's like a cult classic basically in young adult fiction, but I finally read it. And I'm fully on the Rowell train now, so when I saw this one, I was like, oh my gosh, it's by that author. She's great. I love her. And she's in Omaha, which is awesome as well. She's a Midwest girl. I like it. And so when I saw this, I was like, I gotta get it. But I didn't realize it was a graphic novel until after I got it, and I was a little intimidated at first by this, but I'm really glad I picked it up because it was such an adorable story. And if you guys haven't heard of this, this is a story about seasonal best friends. And what I mean by that is the two characters on the front here, we have Deja, and Josiah, whose nickname is Josie. And they work at a pumpkin patch. So they see each other every fall when they work there. And they have always been best friends since they started working together. But secretly, Deja likes Josiah, but she is helping him meet a girl that he's always had a crush on that works at the pumpkin patch as well. And so it's just a story about their last night together and working at the pumpkin patch because they're both going off to college afterwards, and how Deja is helping Josiah meet this girl and finally talk to this other girl that works at the pumpkin patch. So it was an adorable story. I already read it. I think I read it in about a half hour. So it's really quick, but it's so cute, and the illustrations are adorable. And there's also like commentary in the back between Rowell and then the illustrator Erin Hicks. But it's so cute, and it's got this adorable like little map showing the pumpkin patch, and I just love it. I wish I had a pumpkin patch like this around. We do have one close, but it's nothing like this one. Although I know that Rowell says in the book that she based this pumpkin patch off of a lot of the famous ones that are in Nebraska. So maybe I just need to go to Nebraska soon or something. But I loved this. I thought it was an adorable story. And I think if you just really want to get into the fall season and really experience this adorable story between two cute little pumpkin patch workers, then this one's for you. You should definitely pick it up. And I mean, if you don't read graphic novels like I do, I think you should also pick this one up too, because this is a great first one. At least it was for me personally, and now I really want to read more graphic novels. So I love this one, and I'm really glad I picked it up. If you guys have read this book, then you guys might appreciate the fact that I'm wearing overalls, because they wear overalls in the book, and I was like, I'm wearing overalls today. I'm really getting to the fall season. I mean, Halloween is like next week, so I need to be wearing fall clothes. Granted, fall also goes in November, so whatever, but I just thought you guys would appreciate the overalls. So whatever, you guys don't care, it's fine. So the next book in this haul is The 10th Girl by Sara Faring. I don't know how to pronounce that. That's fine. Anyways, so The 10th Girl, which is a psychological thriller. It's perfect for the month of October, though I probably will not be getting to this in the month of October, though you never know. We'll see. However, this book, if you guys haven't heard of it, is a story about I think like kind of like a boarding school in Argentina, and our main character is a teacher that is going to teach the girls that live there, but she runs into some horrifying experiences, and I think the way that they describe this book, at least in the synopsis, it kind of reminds me of the movie The Others, if you guys have ever seen that before. I think it's with Nicole Kidman. I have no idea. But that book, or not that book, that movie, well, is it a book? I don't know. But whatever, that movie freaked me out as a kid. And this is giving me that sort of feel like people are not what they seem in this. And I feel like there's probably a really good thrill, or like, what am I looking for? A twist. I don't know what word I'm looking for, but basically I think that there's going to be like an epic twist at the end that I'm not going to expect. Granted, I haven't read this, I haven't heard any reviews about it, but it looks really good, it sounded really good, and I kind of like that it's in South America, so that it's even more haunting. I don't know why that seems more haunting to me, but you know, I read a lot of thrillers that take place in the US, so just getting one outside of the US is comforting. But I'm excited. It's a boarding school. I'm always excited about boarding schools, especially when they're in the middle of nowhere. And this one looks like it's probably on a lake. I don't know. This drawing reminds me like of what I thought Mr. Darcy's house kind of looked like in Pride and Prejudice, which, I mean, not as ominous and freaky, but I don't know, his estate or whatever kind of reminded me of that for some reason. But I'm really excited to read this. That's all I have to say. I'm excited to read this. I don't know when I'll read it, but I'll get to it at some point. If you guys have read this, let me know what you guys thought down below, but don't spoil. Please, dear God, don't spoil. Okay, so the next two books that I got in this book haul, I simply bought because of who the authors were. And so the first one is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. So this book is about a young girl who drops out of high school, and she ends up getting into kind of odd, sketchy situations. She has a run of drug dealer boyfriends, but eventually she gets into a very terrifying situation where she is involved in a multiple homicide. Though she's not the one killing these people, she's just the sole survivor that comes out of the multiple homicide. And from that, she ends up getting a full ride scholarship to Yale University, which is, you know, Ivy League. And she has no idea why she ends up getting this scholarship. So she goes to Yale, and she ends up finding a very secret society within the college. And basically, from the description, it sounds like it's also a cult. And I'm very interested in cults, so when I read that, I was like, oh, we have to figure out what the hell is going on in Yale with this cult. But I think from the description, it's something to do with they raise the dead, and I don't know where this is gonna go. I'm interested to see if she maybe raises some of the dead from the multiple homicide to figure out connections to why she survived and why she got a scholarship from it. I don't know, it's a mystery, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see how Leigh Bardugo's writing is in her adult debut compared to her young adult fiction writing. I wonder if it's going to be similar, because in those books, her writing is phenomenal, and she has such great character development that I think I'm pretty sure it'll probably carry over into this book, but I'm excited to see the comparison between the two. So, I can't wait to read this. It'll probably be in November like all the other ones, but Leigh Bardugo, thank you for coming out with an adult novel. I cannot wait. So, like I said, there were 2 books from 2 different authors that came out that I was really excited to read, and the first one was Leigh Bardugo's, but the second one, you guys, oh my gosh, is Imaginary Friend by Chbosky. Oh, I'm so excited that he came out with a book again. If you guys don't know who Chbosky is, he's the very famous author of The Perks of Being a Wallflower, which was an incredible book, and it was an incredible movie because he was the director for it, and I think the producer as well. He did such a great job on both writing the book and creating the movie. Oh, I loved it so much, and it's like a staple of my teenage high school years. I just love that book with every piece of my being. But he hasn't came out with a book for 20 years, and he just released this one, and I was so excited because I've been waiting for him to come out with a book for a while, and now we have one. But this one is completely different from Perks of Being a Wallflower. Completely different. This one is a horror book, and yeah, this one just sounds super interesting, super different from obviously his other book, but I think it's going to be really, really good. All right, moving right along here. The next book that I picked up, I was really interested because a lot of people here on YouTube were talking about it. It's a very recent release, but when I read the description, I was hooked instantly. But the book that I picked up was The Beautiful by Renée Ahdieh. I think that's how you pronounce it. But with this book, it is set in New Orleans, and I love New Orleans. I've never been to New Orleans, so yeah, don't take my description great, but everything that I want to do that's on my bucket list is in New Orleans, so it's at the very top of the places that I want to visit. And so when I read this and that it was set in New Orleans in the late 1800s, I was hooked. I have to read it. Essentially, this book is about a young girl who flees from Paris and finds herself in the safe haven of New Orleans. But when she gets there, she ends up joining a convent where she feels that she's safe until girls start turning up dead in a rival. I think it's a rival. The way I read it, it was a rival. But there's a cult leader or convent leader. I'm not really sure. His name is Sebastian. Ooh, such a sexy name. But his name is Sebastian, and these girls from her convent their dead bodies are showing up in his lair. So there's mystery behind that, and I think like the way it seems like he's the rival, but she ends up having a romance or gets very attracted to Sebastian. But anyways, I mean, you have a tale with a classic bad boy and murder and cults and convents in the beautiful city of New Orleans. Like, this is just a recipe for a great book, for me anyways. So I will probably be diving into this book after I finish the arc of the Scythe series and going full-fledged into this one. I cannot wait. I mean, this cover is gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. What I really love is the inside. I mean, look at this map. That is amazing, amazing. So, I can't wait to read this. If you guys, again, let me know what your thoughts are down below, but I'm so excited to get into this one. Alright, so the next book is one that is on the best-selling list. I've heard so much buzz about this one that I just had to get it, and that is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. Now, my dad really, really wanted me to get this book. He hasn't read it, but he heard so much about it that he's like, you need to read this one and then let me know what your thoughts are and maybe I'll read it, which my dad never reads other than like Game of Thrones, which is a good series, but he never really reads. So when he wanted me to read this, I was like, okay, I have to get it if he's recommending. Also, my best friend is reading it and she says it is so good. It's sad, it's emotional. She just says it's a great story. So I picked it up because of those recommendations, as well as the buzz that's being, passed around about it. I can't wait. Now, we're getting into this because it pisses me off. This. All right. I love that Reese Witherspoon has her own book club. Like, that's great. I love that she's promoting these books. It's phenomenal. Okay? However, this pisses me off so much more than the stickers, which I already mentioned. Like, stickers piss me off. But this, oh, no. This makes me so mad because this little symbol is part of the cover. Like, I can't even have the option to take this off. And I was really mad because this is also on my Daisy Jones and the Six copy, which I really wanted that one to not have anything on it, just Daisy on the front cover. So this makes me mad as well. Sorry, little rant, pisses me off. I can't. I don't like it. Anyways, if you guys haven't heard of this book, it is about a girl who grows up in the marsh. She's all alone, and everyone in the town kind of doesn't really like her. They kind of judge her based off the fact that she lives in a marsh all alone. And there is a boy who ends up being killed, and everyone in the town instantly thinks that it is her, and she is at fault for that. But I just really want to know more about her character. I think it's interesting, like, why is she living in the marsh? Where's her family? Why is she grown up there alone the whole time? But I think later on in the book, or in the beginning, I have no idea because I haven't read this, but there's two men that end up coming to this town, and they are intrigued by her right off the bat. They think she's beautiful, and they're as intrigued about the mystery that her and being the marsh girl as I am. So I can't wait to read this. I think it's going to be really great, and I've heard the writing style is really, really good in this as well. So I can't wait for this one as well. Okay, so the next book is one that I most recently just bought, and that is because I just finished the very first one in the series, and I immediately had to go get the second one, and that is Thunderhead by Neal Shusterman. So this one is the second one in the Arc of the Scythe series, and the first one, Scythe, takes place in a very far future where there's no more war, there's no more crime, and the only thing that human civilization has to worry about is overpopulation. So they create these scythes, which are basically like Grim Reapers, who have to go out and kill people, but they call it gleaning. And they have a quota basically per year that they have to meet and kill so many people so that there is no harm of overpopulation in the world. So there is a focus on two of the main characters, Citra and Rowan, and they are young 16, 17-year-olds that get recruited to become scythes. And so with that, they have to be in competition with one another because only one can be chosen as a scythe. So you can see all the complications that come with that, being that there could be a potential love interest. They're young teenagers. So there's just a lot of things going on with this series, and the first one was just so good. I gave it 5 stars because I read it throughout the night. I don't think I put it down until 5 a.m. because it was so good, and I immediately had to go get the second one, Thunderhead, the next day because it was just so good. And I've started this one already, and I'm already hooked. I think it's going to be really good. I can, just from the beginning, I'm not sure it's going to be as good as Scythe, but I think it's going to be incredible in itself. And I also had to read this one because The Toll, the third one in the series, comes out November 5th. So I really want to get through this one so that I can get that one and have the series completed. Alright, so the very last book in this book haul is Wilder Girls by Rory Power. And this one has been talked about so much here on YouTube. There's been so much buzz about it in the young adult community, and I solely had to pick it up for that reason. But I also heard that it is based on a retelling of The Lord of the Flies. Now, I've actually never read Lord of the Flies, but I have a copy of it, and I really want to read that one before I get into this one. So I'm not necessarily sure when I will be reading this one, but I just needed to have the copy so that I would eventually get to it. So the main character in this book is a young girl who attends school, and I think it takes place in a boarding school where she and the other students are having issues with their teachers basically dying one by one for reasons that are unknown. And it doesn't really affect the main character until her best friend suddenly goes missing, and then she needs to figure out what the hell is happening in this school. And so I just feel like there's going to be a lot of mystery behind this one. Obviously, I haven't read Lord of the Flies, so I don't know the comparisons between the two and how they correlate with one another. But I'm really excited to find out and see how it goes. I've seen some people review this and they thought it was, some said it was 5 stars, some said it was like 3 stars. So I can't wait to give my own opinion on this one and see how I feel that the story performs. But in and of itself, this cover is gorgeous, and I usually don't like people on book covers. I'm kind of picky that way, but this one is so gorgeous. I love the way that the girl is designed. It's beautiful, and I think it's going to be an incredible read. But other than that, those are all the books that I've recently picked up in the month of October. I'm sure there are more. I don't know which ones I have picked up. It's kind of hard to keep track sometimes. But those are all the books that I'm going to talk about in this book haul. And I'm sure next month I will have another book haul for you guys because I put in a huge order last night of books from Book Outlet. So we'll have more, of course. But other than that, those are all the books I'm going to talk about today. I hope I can give you guys some recommendations or maybe some books that you can add to your own TBR list. I know mine's insanely long. And you guys can follow me on my social media and see more updates through that if you'd like. And I'll have them all linked down below. But yes, I will see you guys next time. Bye.